Hello, and welcome to another episode of playing Crusader Kings 3 using the hardest possible rule set, starting as the iconic Duchess Matilda of Tuscany in 1066. At the end of our last episode, Duchess Matilda finally passed away. Technically, she died from a random harm event, but she was also 75 years old and so quite aged and likely to pass away soon regardless. We are going to be starting as her son, King Marino here. As you can see, he's a 4-star martial education, diligent, temperate, calm. So, all generally good traits, particularly the first two. At the end of her life, Duchess Matilda tried to build a lot of buildings, really build up the realm to put him in the best position to succeed. And we'll see if what she did, what we did, works. King Marino, frankly, was not our first choice to be the heir. We had a 4-star stewardship education character who was also very strong, but near the end of Matilda's life, that character wandered off into a bog and was never heard from again. And so now we have King Marino. I'll start by cleaning up our pinned characters here. I always want to pin myself. And pin, generally I'd want to pin my wife, but we'll talk about that. I also want to pin any children, but of course we don't have any. So instead we are going to be, have Prince Geraldo here. He is our heir. You can see he's also 4-star martial education, though impatient is not a very good trait. I mean, it has some benefits. Diligent and brave, both good for a martial character. So he's a decent character, but I think we would want to have one of our sons take over. Especially since King Marino is relatively old, one benefit would be if he could have a son or two quickly. By the time we take those over, they'd probably be in their 20s, and so quite young. We'd be able to play them a long time. But first things first, we have to really worry about King Marino's stabilizing the succession here and putting him in a strong position to go forward. So the issue here is we are playing as using the hardest possible rule set, which means we have 2 rules that cause AI vassals to be likely to rebel against us. One is that we're playing on very hard difficulty, which means that AI vassals are much more likely to form factions and rebel against the player. And we're also playing on lesser realm stability, which means all AI vassals are more likely to form factions and rebel against all lieges. And so we really have to keep in mind here what we can do to prevent these factions, particularly early on. One thing we want to look at is whether we're holding too many duchies. You can see here, normally you'll get a notification if you're holding 3 or more duchies. Here, that's not an issue for us. We're just holding 2. Granting vassals to their rightful lieges, that also can significantly improve the opinion and also could put a potentially rebellious vassal underneath a duke, meaning you don't have to worry about them. They'll be the duke's problem. We'll do that here. See, unfortunately, that this Duke of Spoleto really hates us. You can see for the reasons there. But we will give him a vassal. Makes him hate us a lot less. We'll negotiate the alliance with our brother who's inside our realm here, the lion already. That because we're playing on very hard, we can only propose one major and one minor alliance with rulers outside our realm. But since our brother is inside our realm, that should not count toward that, so that'll be okay. For the elections, because our brother is our heir, you'll want to have everything go to him, at least for now. Hopefully we have a son, our other child, and that will change. See, there's also an active election in the HRE. but we're not an elector, so don't need to worry about that. Choose a lifestyle focus here. So for Marshall, I'd almost wish we'd gone down the overseer tree. Normally, strategist tree is great if you're planning on immediately fighting wars or fighting wars soon into your reign, but overseer is much better for managing your vassals. I think here we'll go with chivalry focus, just for the largely for the advantage in case we have to fight our vassals in rebellions, which will not be surprising if that becomes necessary. Here we're going to turn on Terrify Court for our bodyguards and also for our executioner here. The reason for that is to get as much dread as we can and do our best to discourage our vassals from attacking us. We'll get a Master of Horse here. We don't have any children, so we don't specifically need a tutor and wet nurse right now, but we may in the future. We don't have any plagues, so we'll put our personal physician on increasing our lifestyle experience. You see we have a decent amount of gold from our mother, though it would have been good if it were even more. We will want to hold a coronation, probably as the very first thing we do. Don't think I want to develop capital at the moment because a little bit high on stress. Definitely want to train for a tournament. If things go well, this character is probably going to go to a lot of tournaments over the course of his life. Get a lot of gold and prestige. Pin the coronation here. See how much it costs. Likely want a max level coronation with impress attendees. Again, really want to, as much as we can, prevent rebellions. So holding a coronation is one of the most powerful things you can do to get your vassals to like you. So the other real issue here is our domain limit. We only have domain limit of 3. You see the main reason for that is because part of playing on the hardest possible rules, we have domain limit -3 for the player only. Normally I'm okay with being 1 holding above my domain limit, even 2 sometimes. Being 3 is a bit much. I thought we'd have a 4 domain limit based off what Matilda had, but I guess I'm incorrect. Now, there are a number of ways for us to get our domain limit up, at least a little bit. One is when we get the perk Absolute Control here. You can see domain limit +1. Another is if as part of this coronation, we get the option to swear an oath to ensure peace. After 5 years of peace, that will give us domain limit +1 as well. Finally, if we're able to go to a university and become an exalted warlord, 5-star education, that would also give us another domain limit. So theoretically, we get a domain limit up to 6, and even more, possibly if we were to get more perks in other trees, though that's unlikely with this character. But those are far away at the moment, and there's a real question about whether we should hold on to all these domain holdings. It's giving us -30 vassal opinion. It's really penalizing us here. I think let's begin by seeing what our coronation oath is. If it's ensure peace, then that would tend toward holding more of these territories. If it's not, if we don't get that option, then we're probably going to have to do something else. Other big issue here is we do not have any children, and our wife is 47. She's Amazonian, so it sort of made sense at the time to try to get that trait in to our family, but it did not work. You can see here the Pope will not let us divorce her yet. We will start swaying the Pope because we really do need to divorce our wife. Probably what we will do after this coronation is go on a pilgrimage See if we can get our piety, level of devotion up, become a pilgrim. Hopefully all things will make the Pope like us. The issue here really is, do our vassals revolt against us, and how long will it take to deal with that? Here we have some family relations. We can, I think let's go ahead and form these alliances. At least these people aren't fighting. They're not the strongest alliances, but they will help. We do have pretty good army, including a full stack of retinue vanguard, which are very powerful heavy infantry units. I think with that, let's unpause and move forward. Would like to get the piety. So at least so far, no faction has formed. That is extremely surprising. Almost shocking. It's possible the reason we don't have any factions is because we're currently on autonomous vassals at the lowest level of crown authority. I think if we were above that, and we're certainly planning on going above that, we would have more problems with our vassals. So this is an interesting decision. Obviously, he has a quite strong army, but he's 10. Curious if we can see how long he has been a ruler. And so he's already fought in some wars. Oh, so he took the throne as a 0-year-old. So the fact that he's been there 10 years, probably relatively stable, I guess let's form an alliance with him. Now, my concern was he would drag us into wars as he gets attacked because he's a child, but it seems like he's already been a ruler for 10 years and been relatively successful. We're part of a vassal of the Holy Roman Empire. Our primary title is now King of Italy. Holy Roman Empire, and what originally happened is Robert the Fox, who starts as the Duke of Apulia, became a scourge conqueror and conquered most of Catholic territory, also parts of North Africa. Just extremely powerful, clearly the main character of the early game. When he died, strangely enough, Kaiser Heinrich IV, who is the original emperor of the HRE. The original HRE had fallen apart against Robert the Fox's conquest, but then once Robert the Fox died, Heinrich IV took over again as emperor of the new HRE that Robert the Fox had reformed. And I do think he deserves his name, the Persevering, simply because he lost arguably the second most important title in Christendom, I guess after the Pope, relatively early in his life when the original HRE fell apart, but now he's the HRE emperor again. You see, he is also a scourge conqueror. He inherited that trait from Robert the Fox because he was Robert the Fox's heir. It's one of the sort of unique or eccentric features of the HRE title is your heir is who is elected after you, not necessarily your son or blood relations. And so because Kaiser Heinrich IV here took over from Robert the Fox, Heinrich gets to be a scourge conqueror. That's, at least for now, good for us because it prevents other scourge conquerors from attacking us, trying to take our land by attacking the Holy Roman Empire, which is, of course, what happened to the original HRE, is that Robert the Fox took it over, but now it's unlikely that scourge conquerors will try to attack the HRE, simply because the HRE is so powerful and is led by a scourge conqueror. I believe this guy has been defeated at least twice. It's also interesting to note that his primary heir is currently a 3-year-old child. Children cannot be scourge conquerors, so if this guy were to die anytime within the next 12 years, his young heir would take over and would not have the Scourge Conqueror trait. I believe that's the only Scourge Conqueror that currently borders us. I guess you could argue Abyssinia does, and you can really see how Robert the Fox and Kaiser Heinrich have taken over, basically all of Byzantium at this point. Just a few little pockets of the Byzantine Empire still exist. And they're, getting close in a sense to being able to refound the Roman Empire. I mean, they would need some of Alexandria, Jerusalem, and Antioch. That might be about it. And then Rome itself. But anyway, enough talking about them. Let's move on here. So maybe one lesson here is if you keep your crown authority at the minimum, then your vassals are less likely to rebel against you on succession. Possible lesson, I mean, of course, you probably don't want to have such a low level of crown authority that comes with penalties or passing up the ability to get more levies and taxes, but it is something worth noting. Where even, okay, that's quite strange. I think I'd rather have the second one. I mean, having this like random herder be my tributary is sort of irrelevant. Okay, we'll decline. It does cost prestige. I think we'll just go with the second one here. Do I want this guy to become my vassal? He's probably going to hate me. Guess we spend the gold. Don't know that, taking him on as a vassal, given he has a different religion. I don't know. Maybe that was the wrong move. Maybe we should have got him as our vassal. But yeah, I'm just concerned that he would start a faction that would lead to other factions here. Don't plan on demanding conversion, though obviously that would have been different if I had taken on that Muslim guy, ruler as a vassal. So instead we'll go with high anointment, get more piety, get more levels of devotion. Take this terrible crown. I do in fact want to get rid of my wife. I don't think it's going to be through a hostile scheme. I think we'll just try to divorce her. There's ensure peace. Like before about domain limit +1. I think I certainly want that one. For now, we're just our economy is too brittle at the moment to really go on expanding the realm or even shape the realm. Don't know we have the gold to build all those buildings, so we'll ensure peace, get the +1 domain limit, get development growth. I think from there we'll be in a much stronger position. I'm happy to take gold and a little bit of magnificence there. Try to get more magnificence. Take the hook. Go with our supporters here. So we didn't get level 5, but still got impressive coronation. So a little bit more gold. Now we need to be at peace for 5 years. And again, really our hope here is that get activities we can go to. Because we're playing on very hard, the AI gets more gold, and also activities are cheaper for the AI, so the AI tends to hold more activities. We are going to go on a pilgrimage, even though it's probably going to be very expensive. It's not as bad as I thought it might be. So the reason for this is we want to get piety and devotion, make the Pope like us more, so we can divorce our wife. And everything we're going to be doing here is to increase our level of piety, get more piousness for our pilgrimage. Probably could have, arguably should have taken a longer trip around to get more events, get a higher piousness of our pilgrimage, and get hit more points of interest, get more lifestyle experience. But didn't do it, so we'll move forward. Okay, unfortunately we're not any closer to divorcing our wife here. We just have to keep swaying the Pope. I guess the question is, if we send him a gift, how much of an effect that has? Not very much. Right? So again, would be really nice if we could get some okay, maybe this will work. So we will certainly expose her affair. Also want to go to this grand tournament. We will get some captains so we don't drown. Now that everyone knows of my wife's affair, I would hope the Pope would... Okay, she doesn't have an adulterer trait. I don't understand. Well, okay. I assume she would have gotten the adulterer trait, but obviously that did not happen. So no closer to divorcing her. Here, really focused on increasing our score as much as possible. Doesn't have an alliance. I don't think there's any reason from our perspective for that marriage. Increase our prowess here. After this, we'll probably start going down the overseer tree, try to eventually increase our domain limit. Given the percentages, we'll take the safer option there. Okay, so we didn't win. Go on to wrestling. Increase our score. I often like going to the temple for this event, as well as the event that gives you renown. This increases our monthly lifestyle experience, so very powerful. Now that we have it, might try tent camp or other places. Again, try to increase our score as much as we can. See, our Kaiser Heinrich still continue to just go off and conquer everyone around him. Okay, so don't want to die. I guess we will just become disfigured and, yep. Again, sort of one of the consequences of playing on a challenging rule set. Just generally, you get these bad events. So that was very unfortunate. Obviously, will make it more difficult for us to remarry if we are able to divorce our wife. So, is what it is. I'll wait for more events we can go to, hopefully with more success. At least we got a little bit, I do mean a little bit, of Hochfluter experience from that. Might as well go to this feast. We do have some stress and get rid of it. Again, we don't want to attack anyone for our, whatever it is, another 3 years, so. Do want to replace our caravan master. Yes, we may want to educate our niece, certainly not send her to university, but educate our niece in case we have to end up playing her. If this character dies, his brother takes over, and then after that it would go to our niece here in the line of succession. Let's confirm that. Oh. So it's odd. Okay, well, anyway, I still think I'm correct that she's more likely to be currently second in the line of succession. So we'll have her try to make her get decent traits. Don't really want to form a rival with people, so take the other option there. Your rivals like to try to murder you, which isn't good. I think I saw we could go to another tournament. Hopefully we'll make it there in time. Will. Quite short distance. Hopefully this time we don't die or get even more disfigured or lose a leg or whatever. Guess we can get some diplomacy experience or even a skill point. Ought to win this bet. We did. And gold was going up there for a minute. Please don't try to sabotage people, just Carry on. Guess we'll try this. Didn't work. Fortunately, we lost again. Hopefully, we'll at least get some more hostile looter experience, and hopefully, we'll be perform better the next tournament. Guess we'll just do that. Try to avoid stress or spending gold. Not the greatest event, of course. Huh. It's a bit weird. So I guess the question is, do we take this event at its word when it says that nothing happens if I pick this one? Let's try it. Okay. I guess it was in fact true. I mean, we just had that event the last tournament, and if I would pick that, the result is automatic death. Guess if you're already disfigured, you don't have to die. I don't really know. If the game decides there's only so much punishment one character should go through with a bad tournament results. Speaking of which, we lost again. Hopefully we got some decent experience and we'll be better for the next tournament. Could hold a feast, but I think let's just hang out for a little while, see if get into the grand tournament here, or someone else will hold an activity like this. Alps are very dangerous, so hire a mountaineer. We'll start going down the overseer trees we talked about. Do want to marry our courtier, someone with good genetic traits. Try to find them. Looks like we are swaying the Pope. Wonder if he's any closer to... he is closer. Alright. Probably after this hunt, get back to our capital, we'll bribe the Pope, and hopefully he will then let us divorce our wife. Want our regent on getting us as much gold as possible. And our economy is quite fragile. We had to raise all our army. We would be losing gold. Hoping that will change. When we are able to increase our domain limit. So for that one, just wanted the learning experience. And it's not, it's not my hunt, so if the hunt fails, I don't really care. So not too interested about the success chance. Try to increase the control in some of the other counties in our realm, even if not in our domain, but sort of a losing battle because our low crown authority means our vassals are just going to keep fighting each other, losing control and even development. Okay, let's see if we can sway the Pope or get an event. We're almost close to completing another cycle swaying, and if that doesn't work, we will bribe him. Okay, no interest in going to someone else's coronation. Alright. So, bribing the Pope to get divorced, sure. First time that's happened. Get that great Crusader Kings 3 realism. Of course, here I mean that genuinely. Now, ideally we would find someone with strong genetic traits that we could marry. Either genius or intelligent. Who is not lowborn. Could get betrothed to our niece, which would be weird. Wonder if there are any genius women out there in the world that we could try to get to come to our court. Don't think we'd be able to get her to come, even if we could increase our lodging standards. Cost another gold a month. I guess let's do it and then take another look at her. Okay, well, all right. Sure, I mean, she's 28, has a lot of virtues. She's chaste, which, isn't ideal, but I think this is what we do here. She's not lowborn. Yep. So we are on restricted diplomatic range. So, a little bit odd that I'm not sure where she was actually, that she would come all this way, but that works for me. I think we'll pass on the grand wedding, just too expensive. And there we go. Given that she's chaste, I'm not sure how easy it's going to be to romance her. It says it'll be easy, so we want to give it a try. Have children as soon as possible. Here, just take the money. Usually for flood relief, our vassals will handle it. Okay, only half a year, a little bit more left till we fulfill the peace oath. See if we can hit some points of interest along the way here. And on the way back, build up some more experience. Okay, hopefully make it there in time. I think hopefully when we get back, we'll be at a low stress level. We can look into going to university. This character does have a quite strong learning skill for a primarily martial character. We can have our wife help us. We'll just take the gold and lose some opinion with our courtiers here. Okay, there is our oath here, ensured peace. You can see mainland +1 every realm county. Development growth increases by 250. I am somewhat curious whether that's true, right? Because if it's true, that means that the development of this county should go from 19 to either 21 or 22. Let's see if it does here in Lucca. Oh, it did. Okay, so it is true. And our gold should increase significantly, or at least somewhat there. He's an okay knight. Probably worth 35 gold. "46-year-old age difference. That's, you know, good CK3. Because we barely made it to time. I don't think there's any other intent we want to do. Just recreation's fine. Oh. Really? That's quite interesting. So Abyssinia is over here. They're attacking HRE for France, probably because the HRE is caught up in a few different wars. Heinrich is not doing well. I'm guessing if you're Abyssinian, you're way over here, and you conquer France, that France is going to be rebelling against you quite quickly, but I don't know. Let's see if there's something we can do to take advantage of that situation. We're now fully distressed, which is good. Let's see what kind of experience we can get here. Let's take Marshall. Again, I think 300 Marshall is better. Got a massive amount of stress for no real reason. I think we'll try to get rid of some of that stress. Again, I think I'd rather have the martial experience. I just grab the prestige. Head home. We can still take a look at going to a university now that we have a little bit better monthly income. Okay, peasant rabble doesn't really matter anymore now that we've completed our ensure peace oath. If they want to attack us, that's fine. On the other hand, we could also look. Pope seems interested in handing out some claims, so let's see what exactly those are. If there are any we can make good use of. Swabia. I would like the claim on Thuringia. Sorry, I meant to get a claim on Swabia. I was going to get both Swabia and Thuringia. That way we could take them all in one war. Pope, stop handing out claims to me. Go down this tree first, get the prepared conscription, which should improve our gold situation. Piety. Let's see here. Looks like Abyssinia is going to win. Yeah, so that's kind of unfortunate, really. It's just one battle, it's not the entire war. Okay. Successfully romanced our wife. Hopefully we'll have some children of our own. We have 49. It's getting quite old. Yeah, I think we'll pass on that feast. Let's look at university visit, just how painful it's going to be. Like 1500 or something. Yep, 1336. Okay. Go. We'll switch our wife to patronage. So I will have the highest earning possible. Hope for a good outcome. Ideally becoming an exalted warlord. Okay, that's very good. Already up to level 2 in studiousness. This is a coin flip. I think we'll try to do it. We did get it. So very close to level 4, which maximum give us the best chance of getting Exalted Warlord. Did fail that event. But again, I think we're very close. I think we can just do the cheaper one. Not quite. Still have 2 months. Just need one more point. That should do it. Excellent. So Exalted Warlord. Makes us a much more powerful marshal. Also gives us another domain limit. Guess we could display some of these books, or at least think about it. That one, sure. Sure. I'll take a cat. I think a cat can give you some extra health. Which we'll need. Hopefully we'll have some children soon. See, we're pretty close now to getting absolute control. Which gives us another domain limit, and would actually mean that we'd be in compliance with our domain limit. Looks like the HRE is going to lose France. Slaughter these peasants that Pisa has joined for some reason. Okay, well, that was whatever. I have a... Okay. Haven't really done much warring, but alright, fair enough. I will take it. I'm assuming we're going to have this peasant rabble revolt fire again. Maybe, maybe not. Don't know. It's quite odd that it just collapsed. Okay, so now obviously Abyssinia is controlled by these Coptic Nubians. A bit weird. See who takes over after Kaiser Heinrich. Seems like another quite old gentleman. Guy whose grand wedding we were just at. I'm not even in line of succession. That's interesting. I am a quite powerful king. I thought I would have been in there. So we can take this short feast, holding off on attacking anyone at the moment because I'm assuming that there's going to be another peasant uprising. This guy's probably worth 100 gold. 28 prowess. We definitely want to get him married so he doesn't leave us. I'd like this revolt to either happen or not. Okay, good. Marshal. Definitely want to be marshal. Cheaper army, more military, martial experience. All good stuff. So one thing that Scourge conquerors will often do, if you take territory from them, they'll often turn around and immediately attack you. And that's what happens to the player, because it also happens to the AI here. Heinrich lost France maybe 2 months ago, so he immediately turns around and attacks it. Here, admittedly, it probably makes more sense since Abyssinia is quite far away. They just got involved in another major war, so I think what Heinrich is doing probably makes more sense than what the AI often does in terms of turning around and immediately trying to reconquer lost territory. I'm talking about AI Scourge conquerors. I think I'm about to the point where I'm just going to ignore this peasant uprising, or whatever it is. Maybe it's not a peasant uprising, maybe. Either way, I don't want to sit here and not do anything because of concerns over it. So let's see what wars we could take. We could, conquer the rest of Corsica and Sardinia, these little counties. That's not necessarily a bad idea. But let's take a look at Thuringia here. He's got a lot of allies. You can see why the Pope gave a claim on his lands. He's lustful, an adulterer, sodomite, murderer. See if there are any other options for us to get claims on. That guy has 2 virtues, so Pope certainly won't give a claim on his territory. This guy, maybe. I think if we were to get him excommunicated, we would, but that's quite expensive. We'd run out of piety. There's part of me that thinks we wait for this Duke to die, but oh, he has life reaffirmed. Yeah, some other benefits. I mean, we are an exalted warlord, so we should siege very quickly. Could just go for it. See what he has. So he has a lot of horsemen. Okay. And I talked before about destroying this regiment of pikemen. So he has a lot of horsemen and very few armored footmen. So his armies are really vulnerable to pikemen. So I guess we will load up our pikemen. Maybe we just max out our armies. I think we should be okay at this point. Let's see about this going to this feast while our armies, our regiments get up to full strength. But yeah, I think after we come back from this feast in Capua, we are going to be attacking Thuringia. So we have a genius daughter. That is great. Obviously, it would have been even better if it was a boy, but genius character of either gender is amazing. This guy, so he has, that's just a huge army. So again, I think we accept this alliance. It's probably not an alliance we could make on our own since we already have multiple alliances. So yeah, and I think that really cements that we are absolutely going to be attacking. Okay. We were actually going to be attacking Thuringia when we get back. We want a tutor, and in particular, we want a wet nurse. Tutor is on educate children. Wet nurse is on instill virtue. A seneschal should be an organized court. Yep. We will change these to improve our military abilities. For our antiquarian, we'll exhibit illustrious artifacts. Is there anything else that we want? High almoner here. Appease the zealots. All right, I think other than that, we're in good shape. Let's make sure we can pet our cat. Penned. All right. Yeah, I just have no idea what that peasant revolt's doing, but I'm not going to worry about it. Something goes wrong, and come back and take care of it. stress loss. Yeah, we are a bit low on gold, but I think when we raise our armies, we'll be fine. Okay, we will take care of these peasants yet again. Or not. Okay. So, you know, sometimes just have weird stuff happen. This, instead of, you know, causing people to leave my entourage and court and so forth, we'll just say, when did I hear and lose the bit of prestige. For this, we'll take well prepared for the supply duration. So travel safety. I do think I want to go through my courtiers here and see. You know, get some of these guys married. Also, if I have unwed women in my court, use them to get more good knights. Don't want to marry any mayors, which would certainly cause her to leave. This guy looks fine. Courtiers should come to our court. So this should give us some decent knights. We have our 2 acclaimed knights. Yep. And again, I think we'll be in good shape for this war. Let's see, our liege is currently winning his war to reconquer France. Probably a good thing for us. Got our cat here. And then take over Thuringia. You know, I'm hoping our daughter survives. You can see the Witch Coven is actually helping, countering the penalties. Assume there is nothing else. I can do with my queen to have more children or increase the chances. I guess we will convert her to witchcraft because why not? So we are playing on total exclave independence, which means when I die, this land up here in Thuringia will become independent unless I link it up somehow. So I'll be focusing on doing that. We will call in our big allies. I guess we have a number of big allies here. We have a decent amount of prestige. I guess we'll call in all 3 just to make sure. Again, I think I should really rip through these sieges. It's probably there are other commanders in my court that are better than I am. It's also been unfortunate that we didn't start with 300 supplies, but we'll live. Yeah, so in terms of sieges, I'm going to have engineer for destruction, sappers, and exalted warlord all give faster sieges. So you can see we took that down in a month. We have one of our allies coming here. As soon as this gets done with, we will people make such a big deal of that scheme, but whatever. I don't know why my ally decided to immediately start fighting. You can see I have a pretty strong advantage here. More of our allies are coming, so I think so that's very unfortunate. Our genius daughter died. Really seems like the run where our heirs keep dying. Hope to have another one. I'm 51, so I'll be 68 when, even if we have a child immediately, and that child becomes of age. So that's not great, really. Again, we'll do the siege and then need to go attack the enemy. That's a bit unfortunate. I have strategists, which means I have forter, so I can attack over rivers. Don't really want to become rivals with anyone. And again, you don't want to be rivals because your rivals try to murder you. And so, whenever you can avoid becoming rival someone, that's generally what you want to do. I'm talking about at least the way I play, on the hardest possible difficulty level. Obviously, if you have some other goal or doing some sort of role playing, then create rivals to your heart's content. It's like HRE war for France. That one, unless it's a very important vassal that's about to rebel, I usually don't pay them because I'm a cat or dog. So obviously our son here is much worse than the daughter, but he's our heir, so we have to educate him. We have to hope we have more children that are genius and that survive. See if we have any members of our family that we can give away some of this territory to, and we certainly do. Give them the duchy. Okay. want to link up our territory. Easiest way to do that is through East Franconia. Assume we won't. Oh, we could. If we excommunicate him and then not sure if we, even if we excommunicate him, that might not be enough to get his land. I guess let's do it, and we'll, if necessary, immediately go on a pilgrimage if what happens here is we'd be able to get the claim on it because he's now excommunicated. Yeah, still wouldn't even give us the claim. Okay, looks like we can now cast a vote for the HRE successor, make it myself. Since I don't know that we're going to be able to get a claim from the Pope, we are going to start fabricating claims on East Franconia. Okay, I'll take normal feudal obligations, so we'll do that. Have to become athletic, very useful trait, especially the health bonus. Go to one's coronation. Let's see, Abyssinia's armies here. Maybe we go on a pilgrimage, get the Pope's opinion of us up. We'll go with this. Well, let's max out the pomp. Definitely want our mountaineer with us. We will hit a bunch of, or at least some POIs on the way there. You know, the POIs that are relatively close. Hit at least Aachen on the way back. I think that's good. Okay. Again, really want to maximize the piety we get here. Read up that decision, get piety and prestige. I think we'll just hurry up. Don't think that guy is worth 160 gold. If he were, 40 or something, or if he had a, then we might hire him. Or, on the flip side, if he had a prowess of like 25 or more, that would all be different. Hard work is good, gives more gold. Do want another wet nurse. Make sure she's instilling virtue. She is. Looks like Abyssinia might be turning the war around. Kaiser Heinrich's really not doing very well. Let's see if we can change to partition. Cannot. Why can't we? Need high crown authority or better. I think after this pilgrimage, we'll increase our crown authority and see what happens. I think I'll hold on to Swabia, Duchy of Swabia for the moment, but can give it away if we need to get the increase in our vassals' opinion of us. Try to pray to God again. Want more piety and piousness for our pilgrimage. Probably get a significant increase in our income if we could form the Kingdom of Germany. That helps as well. I think we could build some windmills now in Florence and Siena, so that should give us a lot more gold. Okay, watermill in Siena at least. Hopefully either a windmill or watermill in Urbino. Okay. So, good stuff there. Upgrading our domain. Yes. Pike columns. I know that's part of their Republican legacy. Okay, High Medieval era. Could do it. Kind of think we're probably going to be better off with something else instead. Specifically, I think men-at-arms. Be a significant increase the size of our armies, so we'll go with that. Just decline. Cost, a bit of fame, but relatively poor ally. Don't really want to get wrapped up in other people's wars, especially when I'm at a point where I can largely wage war of my own. Don't need to depend on my allies. Nope. Okay. So it's not looking good in terms of getting a claim on this through the Pope. Yeah. Oh well. We'll keep developing our capital. Just don't need Pisa. Also give him the duchy. It's not really worth much to me. Now have all of Corsica and Sardinia. Yep. So again, more gold, more increase in our power, all good stuff. Bit concerning as our priest is taking quite a while to fabricate that claim. If we could be strong, that would be good. We didn't get it there, unfortunately. Before we do anything else, let's let this claim fabricate. If it's on the whole duchy, okay. If it's on the whole duchy, then we know what our next target is. All right, so we take East Franconia here. Don't think we'll need to bring in our allies, but we'll have to see. Again, put in my... Okay, what happened here? Who is my new opponent? What? Oh. Okay, so Kaiser Heinrich died. Things have split up in a whole bunch of... That's not good. I think we say this is not the best course of action for now. I believe that does make our claim pressed. No, still unpressed. We need to figure out what's going on here. Okay, so you see Hispania here. Man, this is terrible. So the ruler of Hispania is still a scourge conqueror. Rulers of Italia and the Holy Roman Empire not. So what happened is when Kaiser Heinrich died, his realm split in three between Hispania, Holy Roman Empire, and Italia. I think this is our liege. He was incredibly weak. That's just amazing. I think there's no real question about what we want to do here. We want to claim our liege's title. And then we want to immediately start a faction against him. Because what I'm very concerned about is Hispania attacking us in Italy. I mean, our forces are pretty close. And I guess I have an advantage by taking all my allies, but it's a real concern. And so we will take over the Empire of Italy. I assume this is an empire, right? Yeah, Italia. Yes, you only hold a single county. So I would really assume that once we hit the 7 more months here, he'll just give it up. Right? I mean, you can obviously see we're 12 times as powerful as he is. He has 0 chance. Then once we get Italia, you know, there'll be an interesting question of what do we want to do from there. But first, let's get our empire here. Okay, definitely don't want to get murdered at this rather sensitive point, so we will redouble the guards. Sure. Okay, what are you being attacked for? Probably, you know, the issue is almost anything that our liege is being attacked for is also going to be our territory, so we don't want that. Did get herbalist. That's fine. It's good. I think we join our liege in this war. Even though it's just for a single county, I don't particularly want to lose it. And I don't think our liege can really do anything of note. I think I had another game on these settings where AI kept wanting to put my brother as the commander, and like here, I mean, it made sense because my brother was extremely talented, but I obviously would rather have myself. Is that just some random negative event? Okay, I think when we... Okay, so I have a genius daughter, so that, really gives us a sort of question of who is the best to take over our realm. Probably the daughter. Great. So our liege is just going to get attacked over and over again. Really? All right, buddy. Where is his single county? His capital is, oh, up here, fine. I'm very surprised he did not just give in. Honestly, I don't get it, right? If you don't give in under those circumstances, when would you ever give in? I think once we siege him down, we'll see what we have to do about Venice. We'll think about what we want our son to do. I'm guessing at this point, just want to be a martial character. Okay, I'm now the emperor. Need to finish up these wars that happen because of my liege's weakness. Terribly interested in helping other people with their wars. I have enough on my plate right now. Not sure what that faction is, which is frustrating. Guess let's try to peace out or even win this war against the Venetians, and then we will deal with the Beneventans. And also, coronation. Really? Guess we'll just, yeah. Alright, I think if we just go over there and defeat them one more time, That should we should be able to declare victory and get 500 gold or whatever, which is worthwhile. Just have to get over there. I'll just kill the rest of their armies. Okay. And I think even with the disembarkation penalty, we should be able to beat up these guys. Then we will figure out where we go from here with being an emperor. So this is, an increase in our power, get another domain limit, get another regiment limit. So that's all good stuff. Fighting in a plagued area. That is not good at all. Damn it. Oh boy. Where is our son? Seriously, where is our son? Now, so I guess we're going to lose. Anyway, we have the Empire title, so it'll be vassal under us. I mean, this is really bad. You really don't want a 4-year-old governing your realm. Let's go to medicine focus. Maybe that'll help a little bit. Okay. Hopefully we survive smallpox. Just have to see. Don't really want to do anything until I know one way or the other. Good. Okay. So we've been playing a bit here. I think it's time to call the episode. You can see that the map has been fundamentally transformed with the death of Heinrich IV. We've got this Abyssinian Scourge Conqueror not very far away. Have his, Hispania Scourge Conqueror right on our doorstep, though he's losing some wars, as is for that matter. The Abyssinian Scourge Conqueror have the Holy Roman Empire. I mean, I think we're allied to them. Yes, so we couldn't attack them even if we wanted to. It's possible that they get overthrown. So, just lots of confusion, and hopefully we'll be able to turn that confusion into opportunity. Next episode. Thanks for watching. I hope you tune in for the rest of the series. Thanks again. Bye.